Hello everyone, I am Grand Royson, welcome to new video. Today I am going to summarize Black Clover chapter 306, 307, 308, 309, 310. Chapter 306, Yuno Grinberryall fires his Spirit of Euro's spell and manages to pierce Zenon Zogratis' chest. As Zenon thinks about how powerful that spell was, Yuno proclaims that their tenacity won this fight. Zenon thinks back to when he was injured and his siblings, Dante and Van Ice, insulted him for being weak. Zenon's oldest brother, Lucius, told Zenon to not worry since Zenon had the greatest aptitude for being a devil host like him. Sometime later, Zenon was being assaulted by John, whose father was in the Mage Defense Force, because of his bone magic. As John went to attack Zenon again, Alan Firerain showed up and stopped him. John and others ran away, which Alan called them an embarrassment to the Mage Defense Force. Alan introduced himself to Zenon and mentioned how strong Zenon's magic looked. Alan and Zenon then headed to a rooftop, where Alan commented about the situation the Spade Kingdom was in. Alan proclaimed that he would be the commander of the Mage Defense Force to give hope to the citizens of the Spade Kingdom, to which Zenon responded that he would also become the commander of the Mage Defense Force. Alan said that that made them rivals and that they would compete to see who became commander first. Over the years, Alan and Zenon trained to get stronger and received their grimoires. Zenon even apologized to his oldest brother since he did not want to become a devil host. Alan and Zenon managed to get into the Mage Defense Force and were assigned to the 4th Division. When a dungeon was discovered within the Spade Kingdom, the 4th Division headed out to explore it but found a devil. Zenon figured that he could defeat the devil with his ultimate spell but noticed that the devil had no openings. Alan said that he could not lose here since he was going to be the commander of the Mage Defense Force. As Alan charged, Zenon said that Alan would die but noticed that this was his chance to kill the devil. Zenon also figured that he would kill Alan too, and thought about what would happen if he did not kill the devil. Zenon decided to use his spell and killed the devil, along with Alan. Zenon thought about how emotions and tenacity meant nothing without power and started to cry. Zenon started to think about how power was everything and how the weak should be discarded. Zenon also started to wonder about the power of the devil and asked his big brother to make him a devil host. As Zenon drops to his knees, Zenon meets with his devil, Beelzebub, and says that they should make a deal. Chapter 307, Zenon Zogratis requests a devil's heart. Beelzebub chuckles and asks what it will get in exchange, to which Zenon offers his entire body, as well as his soul if their original contract still stands for the continued survival of the Spade Kingdom. The devil agrees, and the new heart transforms Zenon's body and heals the hole in his chest. The transformation stuns Yuno Grinberryall and Langris Vaude, and they note how similar he is to a devil now. Zenon boasts about the increase in his strength and demonstrates it by trapping Yuno in a spatial cube and assaulting the vice-captain with bones. Yuno tries to defend with Spirit of Boreas but is overwhelmed, receiving multiple injuries. Zenon criticizes Yuno for not being willing to sacrifice Langris in order to kill Zenon with the arrow. He then attacks with several bone whips that knock Yuno through a wall and knock him unconscious. Langris stands back up and raises his mana zone, so Zenon attacks him with whips as well. However, the whips miss when Finral Rolocase appears in Langris's mana zone and warps his brother and himself to safety behind Zenon, who recalls Finral. Langris bristles at Finral saving him again, which Finral refutes, claiming that he is there to stop the man who abducted his captain, although in truth he did jump in without thinking when he saw Langris in danger. Mentally, Finral apologizes to Yami for taking a detour. Zenon traps the brothers in a spatial cube and attempts to skewer them with bones, but while in Langris's mana zone and holding on to Langris, Finral can instantly warp them out of the cube. Finral proposes that together they can fight Zenon, which Langris finds insolent but takes hold of Finral's hand. Chapter 308, Finral Rolocase thinks about how they will have to settle this fast, since Langris Vaude will not last long, and uses his magic to dodge Zenon Zogratis' attack. Zenon figures out how Finral uses his magic and thinks about how he will settle this when Finral and Langris tries to end this battle. When Finral and Langris go to get close, Zenon tries to attack them but the two dodge and get behind Zenon. As Zenon is shocked by this, Finral thinks about how he was able to boost his speed with mana method. Finral also thinks about what Langris's magic is capable of and how Zenon's defenses mean nothing. Langris then uses his magic to erase Zenon's chest. Inside a library, Yuno Grinberryall wakes up and wonders how many minutes he was out. Yuno is then concerned where Langris and Zenon are and finds out that Zenon has defeated Finral and Langris. As Zenon regenerates his chest, he explains that even spatial magic that erases everything cannot destroy a devil's heart. Yuno thinks about how Finral and Langris are going to be killed, and that nothing worked. As Zenon proclaims that he has won, Yuno thinks about how he cannot win even if he can get back up. Yuno then wonders if he made the wrong choice. Since half his companions were killed, he made sure to get put into the unit, and that he even trained like his life depended on it. Yuno starts to cry and wonder if this is the end. Yuno also wonders if this is all that he was worth, since everyone called him a genius, the hope of the village, that he was acknowledged and hated, along with suffering loss and that he swore revenge for his squad. Yuno remembers that he made a vow with Asta and thinks that this is not all that he is. Suddenly a figure appears and says that Yuno is right, since he is Yuno but Yuno has his own strength. Suddenly a grimoire appears in front of Yuno and a light shoots up from the castle. The people are in shock while Albert notices that that is Yuno's real magic, while Patali thinks about how he figured that Yuno's wind magic was from Licht and Tesha's son. Yuno gets up and says that he will save his captain and the others, along with the Spade Kingdom. Yuno also says that he will become the Wizard King and that Zenon is going down. Chapter 309, Zenon Zogratis notices that Yuno Grinberryall has two grimoires, but before he can finish his thought, two small stars appear and strike Zenon with magical beams of light, one of which cuts through the bone whips holding up Finral Rulacase. Zenon realizes that Yuno must be the heir of House Grinberryall, the Spade Kingdom's royal family, which has passed down three special magic attributes, sun, moon, and star magic. Blushing, Sylph looks up in delight at having finally met the real Yuno. He acknowledges that he will need her power too to defeat Zenon, so he asks her to charge up power within him while they spirit dive and shape Spirit of Zephyr. Yuno then creates a heavenly wind arc to lift and carry Langris Vaude and Finral to a healing mage. Finral marvels at Yuno having two grimoires, while Langris questions what Yuno is, to which Yuno responds that he is the vice-captain of the Golden Dawn. As the arc flies off, Zenon's bone whips lash out at Yuno, who blocks them with quartile scutum. Zenon tries trapping Yuno in a spatial cube, but Yuno is able to teleport between stars with his conjunction spell. Yuno then combines the light beams of 4 stars into one, which destroys Zenon's right shoulder. Yuno also proclaims that he will prove that his choices were not wrong. Furious, Zenon simply wishes to crush Yuno and unleashes eternal fangs, but Yuno avoids the bones and cuts through them with his sword. The two fly toward each other and clash swords, while both believe they made the right choices and will be the one to win. Chapter 310, as they continue fighting, Yuno Grinberryall teleports behind Zenon Zogratis and then uses 4 stars to create a whip. The whip destroys the nearby bones and cuts through Zenon and the wall behind him. Although the whip hits Zenon's heart, the heart is not damaged. Zenon quickly regenerates and then coats his bone sword with spatial magic, creating Demon Sword Dainsleif. Swinging the sword creates flying slashes of offensive spatial magic that carve through space and destroy the surrounding bones, the walls of the chamber, and some of Yuno's stars. Yuno then realizes that he cannot quickly recreate the destroyed stars. Zenon remembers when he approached his eldest brother about becoming a devil host. His brother related his plan to bring true peace to the Spade Kingdom, letting the weak die and then using their 4 devils' powers to revive the dead into undying bodies. Zenon reminds himself that this is all for the kingdom's prosperity. As the tower collapses, Yuno teleports around the falling rocks and the spatial slashes. He decides to fly closer to Zenon and attack with Spirit of Boreas. Although the halberd breaks against Zenon's sword, the swirling winds tear into Zenon's chest, exposing his heart. At the same time, a spatial slash destroys Yuno's last star, so Zenon believes he has won. However, Yuno, who has reached near 100% resonance with Sylph during the battle, reaches Saint stage and channels the power into his sword, creating Saint Spirit of Zephyr. Zenon creates 3 portals behind Yuno and passes bones out of them to pierce Yuno. As Zenon swings and declares his victory, Yuno teleports away, having managed to create a new star. Appearing behind Zenon, Yuno claims that they, the Golden Dawn, won and swings his sword through Zenon's body and heart. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. For more, thanks you all, meet you in another video.